Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame. And today it's going to be me great pleasure to bring in an inductee this year in the managers division. It's John Doss, or JD. John J.D. Doss is here with me today to my right. Before we get started with John today, I just want to bring up some things that have just left really an impression on me the last couple of weeks. It was my first Hall of Fame banquet that I went to there on that in October, a couple of weeks back here, a couple Saturday nights ago, and it was fantastic. It was on October 25th, and of course, I know you were there for your induction with teams and players and everything else, which I'm looking forward to here in our new season, the 25-26 season of this. It was incredible. I mean, I used to hear all of them say, "Oh, wow, you got to see this," and that. Over 400 people, well organized. I know we have the board here and everything else, but I have to say, two people in general here that, and I'm not taking away from anybody in this room today, but I have to say, our president, Paul Rowan, and Jonia McElligott, just incredible work, and the rest of the board, it just was just spot on. Everything went so well. Just incredible. I know the Lentines have been part of this for years. Mick Balestri and all them, our board, the Kavanaughs, just incredible how everything was set up, and what an event. I mean, you talk about the atmosphere of a wedding or something like an Academy Awards is the only thing I could compare it to. As I went home that night to tell my wife, I go, I know you would have maybe been bored because you don't know these people, but this was exciting. And again, hats off to our board, President Rowan, and hats off also to Joni McElligott and everyone that is involved in this evening and this event. I want to take now the time, as we always do. We start our new season. We started with a great inductee here today, John Doss, that we have set aside the time every Saturday at 2 p.m. here right in Forest Park at our Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame to have these guests come on, and President Paul Rowan sets aside the time for us to do this on Saturdays, and it is truly, truly an honor and a pleasure to be in this building, which has some new things we remodeled it a little bit, and it looks great, and it's great to be back here, and let's get started. Young man to my right, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And great to see you. And what goes through your mind after that night, we'll get back to it toward the end, but I'll ask you a question toward the end. Had to be something for you, right, John?
Yeah, it was incredible. I had my family there. I've been involved in this game pretty much my whole life. I'm born and raised in Forest Park, so I've been to every one of these 57
Right.
No Glove Nationals. To be inducted into this Hall of Fame, humbled. I was shocked when I got the call, and the event itself was outstanding. My in-laws came. We just celebrated their 65th anniversary, and they were floored how awesome it was. So, yeah, it was just great.
It just, I guess that's incredible. John, for like myself, we had never met till that night. How does the passion start for you for this game? Where did it start for you? Do you remember the early beginnings? Just to tell our audience when they go to watch this.
Sure. So, I'm sort of different. I started in the 12-inch world.
Okay.
Was playing pretty competitive for a team called the Screwballs.
Okay.
We moved to 16-inch. We were pretty competitive at 16-inch as well. But we were flying all over the country. I was playing tournaments in Las Vegas, and I had two kids, and my wife said, "Yeah, you're leaving on Friday and coming home on Monday is done with."
Yeah.
So 16-inch.
You got a nice wife.
Yeah. So when you find out your tournaments are now in Berwyn and Mount Prospect, it was a much easier sell, and that's how I flipped to 16-inch. And once I did, I never looked back.
Wow.
So that was
when was that time frame, you think?
Probably the early 90s, like maybe 90, 89 or 90.
Wow. Was it a big transition for you to go from the 12-inch game to this? Because I've seen guys go from the 6-inch to the 12. But
yeah, we were pretty competitive. And I thought when I was leaving 12-inch that my world was ending. I was like, I can't believe I'm going to go play 16-inch and not do this anymore. And I just stopped playing 12-inch, never went back and played 16-inch from that day on.
And that was like you were saying, I think off camera, we talked a little bit early 80s, correct?
Yes.
Wow.
Early 80s was the 12-inch through early 90s, and then we changed to 16-inch strictly.
And again, now to go from that glove to these gloves, which,
Such a different game.
Yeah, it get mangled a little bit, right? For sure. You have a great resume here, and I was looking at the resume again here today. The National MVP Award, selected major All-Americans. You won national championships. How was that transition to that 16-inch game? I mean, okay, now you're playing the 16-inch. How was it for you?
I was blessed. I came in with a team called a park team here in Forest Park called the Knockouts. That's where I started. Graduated to the Screwballs, continued to play 16-inch, played with them. I played with a team called Nemesis run by Marky Provenzano. And then I got picked up with the hype team back in. So that's where I met Stan Paddock. I knew Stan, but I started playing for Stan back then. And then I would start making some decisions with that team. And that's where I started coaching, was through Stan, through Gio. Those were the guys that sort of had me transition from softball to coaching.
Yeah. Did you like the transition, or they already saw that about you pretty much, that you were more of this guy that can handle that kind of a situation?
I like to make the decisions on the field.
Right.
When I was playing, I sort of took that lead as a player. I caught a lot at the end of my career, so I felt like that was that position I loved.
Were you vocal on the field?
A little bit, yeah. Unfortunately, sometimes too much.
Yeah. As our audience, there we are in front of a live audience. Some Nick is already giving us the signals that you were vocal, and I'm sure in a passionate way. Yeah. Okay, but when did that start for you? Because I do see that this, manager coaching thing became. What was your position? Because I had not seen you play, but what was your? Did you go pretty much all over the field, or were you?
Believe it or not, in 12-inch, I was an outfielder.
Okay.
I can't believe looking at me, and then in 16-inch, I was in corner. I was probably a third baseman most of my career. Then I switched to catcher EH,
right,
and then to coach manager. So I started with OBI coaching. I was playing with OBI probably in 2009, and I went there to be a coach. They didn't have a guy, so they said you got to play. It was the Elk Grove tournament back. I don't know. I think it was 09 or 10, and I had to play. I had a home run, and their 10th guy came, and I left. So that's the last time I played.
Oh, well, you did pretty good here because you won this Westchester twice, I think, right? Correct?
As a manager. So as a manager, we won Westchester twice. I won Forest Park No Gloves twice. I have 2 ASA Nationals, a couple seconds here as a manager. So
sure.
But as a player, I never made it to the, as a player, I never made it to the, I did. I was on Mudville. We won an A National. But other than that, that was probably the only time I was really.
This is interesting for me because I was a goalie in hockey. And I could see the game, and I could see who was working and who wasn't. And the goalie usually gets the blame in hockey. Oh, that guy's a sieve. He let up 5 goals. Well, why did these 5 shots get on this goaltender? Because the guys in front of him sometimes are not working. Were you able to see now as the coach, what guy was doing it right and what guy was who came there with the mentality? What were you looking for now as that player coach? What were you looking for?
I could see when people walked up to the field if they were ready to play or not. I could tell how they walked to the field, what time they got there. I could sort of have a feel watching batting practice.
Yeah.
I knew going in who was going to be my guy that night and who wasn't. I sort of
that, right? You could see it right away. That is great to know because that shows right there. You cared about who you're going to put on the field and everything else. This game, this 16-inch softball. When I tell people, oh yeah, I'm doing these things for the 16-inch softball Hall of Fame. Oh, what a slow game. Oh, it's so easy. I can jack one from here to Streamwood. And I tell people all the time, you don't know what's involved in this game. Did you bring a strategic yourself, a plan to the game?
I was basically a hitter, you know what I mean? So
Right.
for me, it was just 12-inch was so easy to me
Okay.
compared to 16-inch was not easy to me. Where a lot
Right.
of people say it's the other way around. 12-inch to me was an easy game, you know,
Right.
sort
Right.
of,
Right.
you know, you hit home run, you whatever you wanted to, it was sort of an easy game. Now, I'm not knocking the 12-inch.
No, no,
I
right.
love
No,
it,
exactly.
but 16-inch to me was a lot harder, especially when it was no glove. It's a tough game.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure, because we have to depend now, the hands and the effort and everything else, and you really do have to break this down. What I find when I talk to the gentlemen that are in our audience all the time, what I find amazing of, let's say now, 40 some years ago, there was no YouTube and no thing like, Mick. I always listen to Mick's stories, Mick Balestri here, and who's in our audience today. He can remember lineups, game situations, everything else. And from what I know of Mick, he was the pitcher. So these game situations that he remembers, I can just imagine how he was tactful on that field to move his players around. All right, here comes this guy, John Conenna. He hits the right all the time. So did you have that aspect too, like when I'm bringing up where, okay, hey, this guy hits the right all the time. He likes to dump. He likes to go down the line. He's a pull hitter. You knew a lot about that. And this is without Google or
Correct.
the thing.
This from sitting in the park. That's what we did back in the day.
Right, right.
Playing against Mick for years, he knew where every player to this day.
Oh, yeah.
He'll tell you the guys they still are playing where they're going.
Listen, he was talking to you for a half hour when I couldn't get online. I thought I was going to write a Harry Potter novel. But anyway, this is something that ingrained, in him.
I like Harry Potter.
Well, I'll have to send you a book. Mick is in our audience, and we'll get. What did these championships mean to you? When we go back to what you had mentioned here earlier on in this interview today. What do you? I mean, these are like championships. Being in this building, somebody says I got inducted into the Hall of Fame. I mean, they had to mean something to me. You're not here because of those championships. You're here, I think, your dedication and how you knew how to do this game. But what did those? Do you remember some of those championship games?
Yeah, I mean, the No Glove National to me, because I was born and raised here, those two championships meant everything to me. The first one, that was the most emotional I've ever been. I've had 3 kids. I've been through a lot in my life, and to win that first one in 2015 was incredible, and I'll never forget it. The party afterwards, I'd like to forget. Yeah, that was incredible. We won 2012 and 13 the ASA Nationals. That was great, but it just didn't get this No Glove National winning those. And then with Circus, we had such a bad year this year to just come out and win.
And this is the team you're currently managing, right? Yeah,
correct. And just to come out and win that No Glove National shocked me. They played like the best team in the park all weekend.
Wow.
Which I didn't see all year long. I was expecting to be watching Saturday sometime. I was shocked.
Sure.
Yeah, the first one to me, it was just it meant everything in the world to me.
Oh, I can imagine. I see you've coached your kids.
Yes.
And how is that? That's also a transition, as we say in life. I mean, it's sometimes one of the hardest things to do, to play with them, to coach them, and of course, you advance them to the big stage of the No Gloves.
Yeah, that's why I only did it for a year and a half with them, because it was tough, and not because of my kids. I'm always harder on them than everybody else, so it's not like they got any special treatment. Let me tell you. But it was awesome to be able to coach all 3 of my kids at once, on the same field, us 3, and it was just something I'll never forget.
Right. How much has the game changed for you, in the sense of how much has the game changed for you from those early 80s of playing? We'll just keep it with the 16-inch to now. What do you see, John Doss, is the change?
Well, I mean, it's a dead horse. The commitment is like night and day. I mean, everybody says the same thing. How you change it, I have no idea.
Right.
But it's just back in the day, people, that's what they did. If it was going to rain, I was crushed. Now people are praying for rainouts, and that to me, that's the difference. My 3 sons sort of had the same thing I had. They had They never miss a game. They'll be at every game. They don't miss, they'll miss weddings and everything else, and they'll go to the park. They were with me in the park my whole life, so that's how they were brought up. And it's just there's not enough of that anymore. That's the problem.
When I talk to all of them, when we're all here, starting from Paul, Frank, Mick, Rick, all these guys. I mean, Frank, I don't know how he had time to have all these kids. And then Mick tells me all the time, he goes, hey, I go, Mick, did you go to so-and-so's wedding? Wedding? He goes, he's lucky if I sent the envelope in with $100. Yes, the commitment level has definitely changed where now, I hear guys telling me, yeah, I got to go to that wedding or I got to go to that thing. Okay. But, and I wonder why it's changed in the sense of, you think it's just the passion is not there, or what is the missing link here, you think, nowadays?
Nowadays, there's so much more to do. Like back then, that's what we did. We went and played at the park. Now there is so many other options. And I don't blame these kids for, a lot of them are working, this is what they do. This is their passion. It's just a different time now. And that's the only way I can put it. Athletes now are better athletes, I think. But these guys that played back in the day, the heart they had and the commitment and it was their life. And that's not like that anymore.
Right. I mean, a week. I mean, when we say 7 days is a week, it felt like and I only played like in like A leagues, around these park districts and that, but it just seemed like a week lasted 2 weeks because, you got to multiply how many games you were playing in a day. And of course on a weekend, or how many tournaments they all went to and everything else. I'm going to ask you the question I probably should have asked you earlier, but I'm going to ask it to you now. So let's say John Dawson's going to critique himself. Were you the better offensive player or the defensive player during your playing games? What did you bring to the table, you thought, as the player?
I couldn't catch a cold, so I was definitely a defensive player. I was okay defensively, but yeah, I was definitely
the hitter. Did you work on different things? Like, I talked to so many of them again, and everybody that even that night I had an unbelievable time at the banquet on the 25th where guys go, I was a pull hitter for 10 years of my life. Then I was the best dumper to right field. Did you try to change your game offensively?
Absolutely. And you have to, you have to have 3 or 4 balls in this game that, you're a constant pull hitter. These guys play against you 3-4 times a week. And, I mean, they know where you're going.
Sure. It's almost like I look at this game, I try to break it down more now than I did when I was playing it. But I think it's almost like that starting pitcher who's got to have the curve, a slider or something. He's got to have at least 2 or 3 in his arsenal to play at the level that he's playing. What I found amazing about you in doing the reading up on the bio, you it's not softball but related, but it is in regards to here. You were the park commissioner here for 17 years.
Yeah, actually, I just finished my 18th year. I retired in May. I started in 2007. It was great. I loved every minute of being a commissioner here. I loved being part of this tournament. I actually tried to stick on, help them out with running the tournament a little bit. I did last year. We'll see what happens this year, but I loved every bit. I love this community. I was born and raised here.
Nice.
Right down the street on Ferdinand Avenue. So I walked in the park every day. I worked here as a kid. My son works here. So yeah, it's like a family to me.
Was it hard to do both? Play the game, be the commissioner? I think you even tried a mayoral run here. I've heard.
I did.
Yeah.
Unsuccessfully at 2023, I ran for mayor here. Right when I retired, I was the public works director here for 37 years. I worked for the city. So it was going to be a natural step for me. When I lost, that's when I sort of just said, I'm sort of done with politics. I'm going to retire from the park when my term's over, and I'm going to sort of just watch from now on.
I mean, what a great thing. I mean, 17 years or 17 years. It's a lot of time, a lot of commitment. And I'm sure you saw a lot of things that went on here. As you go on now toward the future, do you still want to keep managing? I know you're with Circus now. How do you feel about the future with this team, or do you want to continue to offer this type of thing?
So my sons are starting to put their team back together. I'm not going to manage them. Circus, I'm still with them as of right now. I just don't know what I'm going to do this year. going into the no gloves, I was going to retire after this year. When we won it, I wanted to sort it. Now I'm like, how can I walk away? Then we started to have some people leave. People are going to, quit. So depending on what the team does, they're talking about just doing tournaments this year, which is sort of different. So I don't know if I have that in me to just not play in a league and
Right, because that tournament
tournament.
mindset is okay. It's almost like a planned thing in the mind where, I think everybody likes the fact of, hey, I got a game on Monday. I got a game, maybe 2 games on Tuesday. We got to make up the rainout game from last. That's that spontaneity of, that makes, I think, the challenge every day. Because back in your day too, like the rest of these gentlemen that are here today, how many games do you think you were playing in a week back in your day?
Oh, I would play with tournaments 15 games a week.
She's right.
Yeah, easily. So,
Yeah, 50. Yeah, it's like that golfer. I mean, 15 games a week. You're practicing. I'm gonna randomly maybe ask some questions out here to the audience.
Yep.
We'll try to keep it down to a minimum here because then I want to talk to you about the great night of your induction.
Absolutely.
Frank, anything you would like to ask JD here today? Frank Lentine, who again was inducted that night also and been inducted before. And Frank, anything you would like to ask JD?
Yeah, people like JD are the reason why this game's gonna flourish, because he put his heart and soul into it. And he's maintained it because he is Forest Park. Our family started here in Forest Park too, but listening to what he said about living here,
Right.
being involved, continuing working, all the rest, that's what this game does. It fosters family, community, and it's good for the community.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Frank. Thank you.
President Paul Rowan, anything you'd like to ask John?
Each other back, each other, 80s, 90s, and all the way along, he's just been a class individual, just all class, top to bottom. And not only was he a class player on the field, but as a manager, just all class. And it was always good to compete against.
Great. And of course, I'm sure you've always, before I go on to the next guest, you've always been a big help to the softball community, being the Park District here. Rick, anything you'd like to add?
Related to it a little while ago in conversation, and I've had this question with many other Hall of Famers like yourself about which was more important or what they cherished more, winning Forest Park no gloves or major or A nationals. And I'm not going to go on a list of the guys, but there was 20 of them, and about 15, 16 are still alive now. And out of that group, and I'm going to throw it to you, and I think I know your answer because you kind of had it. 90% said Forest Park no glove nationals was more important to them, and they cherished more winning that than major A nationals, which they had won. Okay, so the majority did say Forest Park no gloves. I'm assuming that's your feeling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then you do it twice after playing in it for many, many years on quality teams. Great accomplishment.
Remember, I played on a lot of teams and I never made it to the final field. I lost Sunday going to, because it was, the final four would be down there. It was 5th place many times as a player. I never got to the final field.
Yeah.
So to be a manager believe me, to win this thing was incredible for me. It really was.
Absolutely. My sentiments as well. I think Forest Park no gloves, even though, hey, don't get me wrong, A and major nationals are real sweet, but we're still no gloves. It's still the uniqueness of the game. And to win the no glove nationals,
something.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Go ahead if you have a Billy. So just pick it up just a little notch, just in case. Yeah.
Outliers too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I do.
If I would have known that, I wouldn't have come in. Wow, fantastic. I mean,
What can't say is considered enemy.
thank you for bringing that up because there's a uniqueness to that because now, you know, you're this person that looks at it from a different
Right,
perspective.
right.
So thank you really for
And
bringing
one thing I
that
can
up.
say about that is when I umpire, I take some stuff because I was the worst on the field.
Got
I
it.
used to yell at them. So when people yell at me, I was like, hey, just keep it coming because I
Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. You're not going to insult me. Don't worry.
Mick, we'll save the last one for you. Please, I hope it's not a doubleheader.
Yeah, too quickly. I will reiterate this, what Richie said to you about Forest Park. I had one
Okay.
with the dollhouse in '95, and I don't think anything's gonna surpass that. The only other thing I would say that would surpass that was I want to enable my kid, and that's, you know how that is.
Yes.
I brought it up to you when you were walking in, that when we played with Nemesis. Funny quick story, I was just gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you now. I asked him, can you remember the lineup? He says, absolutely not. He says, I know you know the lineup. He said, I couldn't tell you who played on the damn team. So I
Right.
went through the lineup. I had my nephew Robbie Grazzano on left, Richie Sperando in center, Vince Cozy in right, Johnny played third, Provenzano at short, Richie Hennessy up the middle, Gibbs. Jeff Hernandez played second, Carl
Wow.
Presto, your guy Carl Presto, caught. I pitched. Johnny Calloway plays. The last time I played with Johnny before he got ill.
You were telling the story. Huh?
Nobody knows who the catcher was that game. And I'm gonna leave you with one name, Augie.
That's it.
Wow.
I'm done.
Yeah,
And you all know about Augie.
and fantastic, Mick, for bringing up
We
that.
just heard.
Wow. Incredible.
That was the team we just threw together to play in the weekend. It was the
That's,
NSA World
that's,
Series.
that's something.
Yeah, real quick.
No, what a memory and what a team of those players that all those names you rattled off. Well, John, I'm going to end it with two things, something a little different. But today I have to ask you, and this is a question I ask everybody all the time. And I saw it that night. It was just, I was in awe sitting at the table. I got the chance to sit at Paul's table that night. How was it for you when you get this call from a Paul Rowan that you're going in the Hall of Fame? Because for me, any Hall of Fame is special. What was going through your mind when you got the call, and what were you doing?
First of all, I was at home. I was on the couch watching TV.
You weren't eating, were you?
No.
Okay.
Because then I wouldn't answer the phone. Then I wouldn't answer the phone if I was eating.
Good.
But yeah, I saw Paul calling. I had no idea my son put in.
Oh, wow.
It was a total shock. I had no clue this was coming.
He had put in the nomination for you.
Yes.
Wow,
So when I got
fantastic.
the call, I got choked up. I was like, and then I texted my kids. I said, whoever did this, it was unbelievable. I was crying. I was like crying like a baby.
Wow.
It was incredible. I was
Wow,
hilarious.
I know, and I mean, everybody's got a different story,
Yeah.
and I just always just love the fact, it's like that call, like in baseball or in
Yeah.
hockey and football. I don't know if they do it in football when they call you from Canton, Ohio, but wow, I mean, what a feeling! And I saw it that night in everybody's eyes. There's something here that I have been playing this song in my car now since October 25th at about 11 o'clock at night. I've left at 11 o'clock that night. We stayed around to help out just to make sure everything was going right and everything. But at 11 o'clock at night, I was sitting at that table and I downloaded this song on Spotify. And I would like to know who got this song because I'm living on this song. So I'm going to play it off my phone. And it's about all you inductees and this softball. This song just makes it's perfect. John Doss, you're a winner.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for this induction.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. And whoever picked this song, fantastic. I get goosebumps every time now I play it in my car. It's about all you guys, all the legends, and congratulations
Thank you
again.
so
And
much.
thank you for coming here today for this great interview
Thank
today.
you. And thank to the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Johnny,
Thank you.
We have visited today with John J.D. Doss and our live audience today, inducted on October 25th, 2025 in the manager's bracket, and well-deserved.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
We will see you next week with another guest here at the Chicago 16-inch Softball Hall of Fame in Forest Park. Be here. It'll be another great live audience.